Is that a progressive idea or is that procrastination? Is getting involved in that really going to drive you forward, or is it going to limit your abilities?
Mm.
Well, it it's a question of management of time, and
Mhm.
and people will. Everyone is seeking something,
Mhm.
whether we know it or not. We're all seeking something. Some of us find it, some of us don't. It's life, and um, it's interesting when we seek to influence others. What is that really about? A lot of the time,
Mhm.
uh, is yeah, how much help is actually help, and I don't mean that in the sense that people don't help or shouldn't help or that people are unhelpful. It's back to the principle of unintended consequences,
Mhm.
where it's like should people who don't work get money from government is the basic that's the basic question that people have to deal with. And there's this idea that we all want to help each other, and therefore it's nice to help each other and make sure everybody has all the basic requirements for life. But
Mhm.
but is it?
Yeah.
What's the long-term effect of that? Because sometimes we need to be uncomfortable. And so creating comfortable areas or comfortable zones, or we sort of leads to the acceptance of everything, which is it's okay. But if we lived our own lives that way, I mean, it's okay for society. But if we lived our own lives that way, where we just believed that everything was okay and that's that, there wouldn't nothing much would
Live in the
happen.
comfort zone.
Yeah,
You mean?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Mhm.
Everything that's great that ever happened occurred outside of the comfort zone. That's it, right? That's why people need to get outside and do stuff outside, because
Mhm.
because because all the great stuff happens out there somewhere. Yeah. Um,
So why do we then build houses and live?
mm, because we create the problems that we wish to solve, right? It's a puzzle. In essence, people are not building houses to help people. They're building houses because it's a puzzle that they like solving. It's the puzzle principle, right? If there's what the great book is the puzzle. The murder mystery story will, you know, there'll always be that because deep down inside we're curious as people. Look, I think there's only what is it? There's only like 7 different ways to kill a person, but there's hundreds of thousands of murder mystery books and TV shows and films and other types of media, right? We never grow tired of that part of our brain which is uh, stimulated by curiosity.
Mhm.
Same with kids, right? Why are kids never bored? Because they're curious. And if they
Yeah.
get, if they get bored, it's because their curiosity has been limited.
Mhm.
Mom, I'm bored. Dad, I'm bored. Um, it's due to restrictions. Either either they are limited by rules created by other people, or they've internalized the rules created by other people and applied them to themselves. I'll give you an example from my daughter, right? So my daughter, my daughter thinks I can't play with something because my parents said you can't play with it. So she internalizes what we externalize and limits herself, and as a result gets bored because she's unable to explore the things that interest her. And because life is not boring.
No.
Not in, even if you know the classic experiment of just like finding a space in the forest and sitting down and sort of not doing anything. You begin to realize that the forest is full of life. Like when you walk through the forest, it seems like maybe there's nothing there, but there's a lot of things there.
But when you sit down and you're quiet, when you blend in.
Yeah, when you begin to, blend in is a good way to describe it. When you begin to relate to your environment, when you begin to find your space there, you realize that there's so much more. It doesn't matter what you study, you'll always find more in it because we're curious. It doesn't matter how many times you look at the painting that you like, even if you don't know why you like it, you'll always find something interesting within it. The color, the shape, the form, the images, whatever. Because the adults fear that the children will, I don't know, out-create them maybe, or expose them, because children expose adults to be the demons that they are a lot of the time. And as a result, adults feel the need to restrict their environment or create certain safe spaces. Yeah. What do you learn in a safe space? Not that much, because you're not going to suffer any real consequences. My advice to teenagers: do everything. I'm not saying be stupid, right? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying be stupid. I'm saying do everything.
Do everything.
Because you will suffer very little consequence as a result, because there are so many safe spaces created that nothing bad is going to happen to you. So you might as well explore and experiment within that area, because let's take a crazy example, like a computer game with guns where you go around shooting people, right? So you play the game and you go around shooting people and you experiment with what happens, and you finish the game and you realize that you can't apply that in the real world because it's not the real world. And you don't find thousands of kids who play these computer games going out shooting people. But they don't, because they've already experimented with what happens in the experimental world, and they understand that that you don't do that in reality, right? But it's a way to explore things. It's a way to explore imagination. Much more happens in our imagination than happens in reality.
Yeah, so many things we imagine, we wish they would happen actually in a little different way, and crazy, we start to believe it sometimes. That
Well,
some people.
Yeah, the imagination is beautiful because it takes us beyond where we are to where we could be, and it's absolutely necessary to have that. But just from my own personal experience, I'm so happy that things that I imagine very often don't happen, because human imagination is wild, right? But that's also, again, how we solve problems, by thinking about things in different ways, or seeing the unseen within our own mind, which is a complicated way to describe it. But I'm fascinated by thoughts, because I think that the quality of our life is dependent upon the quality of our thoughts.
Mhm.
Now, that's really, really fundamentally important. The quality of our life is dependent upon the quality of our thoughts. So you stop for a moment, you think about the quality of your thoughts. Are they good? Are they productive? Are they kind?
Mhm.
Are they without agenda, without obligation?
Mhm.
And that's difficult for people because we all understand action and reaction, and we all understand if we do something, it will cause something to happen. And if we think too much about it, it's paralysis. So we don't do anything, but we have to do something. And the the way through that is to live without expectation.
Mhm.
Expect nothing, and you will forever be pleasantly surprised. Really, expect nothing. Expect nothing from anyone, and you will forever be pleasantly surprised because you will either receive your expectation or something better. It's the same principle. Wait for nothing, and you will never waste your time.
Right. Mhm.
Wait for nothing. Just people are waiting for things. What you waiting for? Right?
Better tomorrow. Which one tomorrow?
I'm going to make a New Year's resolution. Well, stupid idea that is, because that's just procrastination, right? Because if you didn't do it yesterday, what's going to make you do it tomorrow? Very little, unless there's some seismic personal change in something.
Mm.
Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't.